Maybe it's a good day to do some Halloweening. 72 degrees. The fountain didn't get the memo that it was 72 degrees out today. Alright, so this is day one of the video log, and I have never done a vlog before. I figured it would keep me motivated to keep going and keep working on Halloween stuff throughout the year. Really got the inspiration from Ghoulish Cop, and the link is going to be right down there. You can check out his vlog. It's quite good, quite humorous, and I am enjoying watching it every day. So check that out. Today, we're going to work on a corpse. I took some footage yesterday, but some of it got lost because I pressed the wrong buttons on my phone and deleted a bunch of crap. But for the most part, we've got a good chunk of it, and I'll be doing the corpsing with liquid nails and stain. And that's pretty much it. There's very little paint involved in this. So we're going to go ahead and have a look at that, and hopefully this will keep me motivated to keep making these things, knowing that maybe you're waiting for the next video. So, here we go.
Well, not quite yet. I figured I would show you a little bit of the outside around my property and talk about some other ideas that I have, because all vlogs start that way, don't they?
So I've been thinking about trying to do something with these globes for Halloween. I made these last summer, and they are standing up very nicely to the weather. Have not had them come off. Nice home for bugs. And there's not a drop of water in there. I was thinking maybe I could do jack-o'-lanterns over the top of them. Might look pretty cool. Or do I want to make them out of great stuff or paper mache? I don't know, we'll see. Well, this thing didn't fare so well. I kind of figured this would be a problem with this. That is a big bulge of water. Yep. Well, I'm left with this. Oh well.
Alright, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's get into it. This is the corpse that I'm working on, and these are some shots of what I did yesterday. I had a time lapse of this, but I accidentally erased it. This is liquid nails applied to a skeleton that I had, and it's pretty neat stuff to work with. And here's what it looked like after the first staining. I learned this technique from Victor Ives, aka The Undertaker, over at Halloween Hot Sauce. Check him out on Facebook. He's selling some cool hot sauce and little coffins over there. So anyway, here is me doing more work on this, and this is a time lapse because I wasn't quite satisfied with the overall detail. I mean, it looked okay, and I could have let it go at that, but it wasn't the look that I wanted. I wanted to have some darker areas, some more rotted looking areas. So I went at this again with liquid nails, and I'm just piling it up into pretty much big gobs there, and no idea what the hell I'm doing, but figured I would just use some artistic expression and go for it here. So I'm making a couple of sores and just carving in more detail with a screw that was actually stuck inside the end of that liquid nails container. Tried to draw some muscle there on the side. The teeth were a little too big on the skeleton, so I trimmed them down a little bit by putting more liquid nails over the teeth to form lips. And here I'm just doing more of the texture. This was, I don't know what I was thinking here, maybe veins or something. Didn't really work out that way. It looks kind of like cracks in the skull at the end, and we'll see that later. But this is just a piece of plastic that I'm rubbing over it too to try to give it more texture. I had heard about applying liquid nails and then putting plastic wrap over it to form wrinkles, and that worked kind of okay, but I actually found that this screw worked best of all, and I'm sure that people with proper carving tools for working with clay or whatever can do a better job, but I was impatient and just wanted to do something with it, so I think it came out pretty good. And I made a really big sore here at the top of the head. We're going to see that a little bit later. Just more, I guess, muscle striations, or I don't know, extra details, wrinkles, who knows, whatever you want to call it. Just anything to give the thing more texture. And I wanted these areas to be really dark and look a lot more rotted. And there's a zip tie, just anything I could do to form lines. And I think right here I'm going to work on the head again, the top of the head. I'm going to add some more liquid nails to the very top here and try to make a really pronounced section of rot. And that's going to look really good actually at the end. So I wasn't quite happy with the section on the cheek, so I added some more liquid nails and then tried to peel it up and make kind of like a crater for a darker sore area. And that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is what it looks like close up before staining. And that's the top of the head, and those are the muscle striations I was going for. There are the teeth covered up, at least the top portion, with more of the liquid nails to form lips. And there is the, I don't know, crater section. Didn't really come out that good, but after staining it looks pretty darn good. And that's where I was going for veins or cracks. Ended up looking more like that. Here on the bottom I had a nice sore also. There's that like muscly texture. And then on the very bottom, I don't know if we're going to even get a shot of that here. I don't think we are, but we'll see it after the staining. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the staining shortly, but I wanted to give the guy some nostrils, and I didn't quite drill them correctly, and the left nostril was a little bit too on center, but I fixed that before this is over. So moving on to the staining here, and you can see me applying the stain to all of those fresh liquid nail sections. There's the sore on the back of the head, and you can see how the stain really accentuates all of that extra detail that I've added. And really I'm just going to be doing an antiquing and then more stain, then wiping it off, and then adding more stain, then wiping that off, and then some darker stain, wiping that off, just doing various techniques here to try and accentuate these additional areas that I added. So here's where I decided that I needed to fix the nose, and my idea was to just rip off half of it, essentially, to make it look like half of the nose rotted off, and I really just pried up half the nose and folded it under, and then adding darker stain into that cavity. Well, this is a black stain that I'm going to add to all of these areas that I want to appear like they're more rotted. And that's the top of the head. There's the one on the back of the head. That one looks really good, actually. The nose got an application. And I just, again, same technique, put this on, wiped it off. Tried to keep it in the middle of these, I don't know, sores or erupted areas, whatever you want to call them. So I said at the beginning that there was very little paint involved here, and this is the paint. I just took some flat black paint and tried to accentuate the lips, and I didn't really like the way that it came out, so there's going to be a lot of me fooling with that, but went and painted over the eyes where I had slopped some of the liquid nails into it, and went over the sore a little bit at the top of the head, just very lightly in some of these areas, and this was after the stain had dried up a little bit, just to accentuate the darkness of those areas. So me doing some detail painting on some of this stuff, and here I am trying to fix the lips that I just screwed up, and I'm actually just going to go back to the brown stain on this. Almost looks like a mustache, doesn't it? And I'm gonna wipe that all off before this is all over, because I just really mucked that up and should have left them just like they look right there. And I think that is pretty much what I did. I just gave them another coat of brown, wiped that off, and then that was it. But sometimes I don't know when to leave well enough alone, and here I am just kind of painting some of those cracks with that darker stain just to accentuate them a little more. They didn't come out as well as I'd liked, and there I am accentuating the one on the cheek, and that's it. It's really not all that complicated. Actually, I didn't like the one on the cheek. I pried it up with a screwdriver and dug it out to have a little bit more rotting flesh, and then really hit that with the black stain, just kind of mixing those two stains together. So that is pretty much it, and this guy is, well, this gal is just about done. This is going to be a female. I need to add some hair to it still. She's going to be sitting in a rocking chair. But here are the shots of the final product minus the hair, and I think it came out pretty good. Probably spent a little bit too much time on what is essentially a very simple technique, just using liquid nails. There's the nose close up, pretty gross.
Alright, well that's it, and I am sick of staining. My basement stinks, and even though it's, I don't know, almost 70 degrees outside with I've got the door open and the fan running, it's still pretty bad in here. So I'm going to call it a night, and I think we're pretty much done with that. I've just got to corpse up the body. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I don't know if I want to run liquid nails all over it, or when I'm going to dress it, what kind of costume I'm going to put on it. But we're going to probably use that for the rocking chair prop that we want to do this year. We've got an evil crib that we set up with some evil babies in it. We want to put an animated rocking chair next to it. We picked up the chair the other day at Goodwill for 15 bucks, so I might stick that zombie in it or corpse in it and then animate the chair with a motor, and that'll be a new prop. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned anything, maybe found out something new, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Hey guys, Montclair here from whatever the f is. Hey guys, Dave here from Montclair's Lair / whatever I'm calling it this week, because I'm an idiot.